Hey guys, welcome to another recap chat. This time we're doing Never Ever Mets. Um, and we're on episode 4. Never Ever Mets is a reality show on the OWN network that basically couples that have been conversing and having a relationship online get to finally meet each other and get to see if they really have a true connection. They live in a house together, these different couples, for a short period of time just to see if they have the chemistry. They do different exercises as far as relationship related exercises. See, are they compatible? So, right off the top, Jared is being a petty pop thief. He stole Kiki's pop while she was sleeping, and I think he's just stealing just to steal. I think Jared's the kind of guy that's just doing stuff to see what he can get away with. And it seemed to have a food theme for this episode, kind of. But after he's talking to his girl and he swipes Kiki's pop while she's asleep, the guys go discuss what happened the other night as far as the little game they played on who would stay and who would go. And now Jared's having second thoughts on what he said about staying with Charlie. Now he's saying, he was drunk. And, he probably wouldn't have been so harsh in his response of saying he wouldn't be with her. Of course, this was an anonymous game, which I thought that was a smart thing to do, to make it anonymous. You don't want to raise the stakes too high at the beginning of the show. So you got to keep people wondering about, each other's status and who said no to who and what and all of that. Though some people did see, like Brandon, Kiki did see him actually write no. Tatiana and Jay, they talk about Clay being fake when it comes to vegan, his fake vegan ways, and how he fakes vegan in front of Tatiana, but then he asked Jay to make him this multi-meat sandwich. I forgot the name of it, but it had multiple meats on it. And, he partook of this sandwich behind his girlfriend. And, the fact that he's lying was her issue. She said she was vegan, but she dates people that aren't vegan. And it became a whole big issue about his fake vegan ways. Well, there's other issues there that she knows there's some other lying ways about him, but it hasn't fully come out yet. At least not to her and the rest of the group. But Jared knows. I mean, Jared and Clay are kind of like the lying twins at this point. The name of the episode is Lying for Sport. And I think those two kind of have a thing for doing that. But previously, when the guys were talking about last night, Cinco chimes in and says it seems like everybody's having communication issues, and that's the problem. And Cinco's the only one making common sense over here on the male side. Jared is trying to get into the boom boom room with Charlie, and she's not slowing down at all. She's following the path, the little breadcrumbs that he's leading her into that room, and she's not seeing any of those red flags. He's talking really good, and he's charming her very well, enough for her to follow those breadcrumbs into the boom boom room. So he's hoping that later that this is going to happen pretty soon. And I say, girl, you're moving too fast. That's why you got all them babies. You just had a baby 2 months ago. Kiki and Brandon get into their fight over the drinking again. Like, they really start talking it out because, last night he claimed he was tired. He was doing all the work, putting the meal together, because they do, like, each night a couple hosts and they do the meal. So she kind of left him hanging, drinking all night, and she was doing her thing. Well, she's like, don't police me. I'm not drinking too much. You're trying to control me on this. You're going to try to control me on other things. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of you. He said, I'm tired of it. She's like, I'm tired of you. And I think she's like a mean drunk. She's not even drunk right now, but she's a mean sober drunk. I feel like her side dude is the bottle, and she fighting for her man. Alicia, being a busybody, she heard Kiki and Brandon kikiing it up and not so kikiing it. when it comes to this drinking issue. And she's like, y'all being too loud, and like, this is between you and Kiki, why you had to be making noise here and there. I think that he was in the kitchen talking about it as well. And Alicia's like being a busybody, being aggressive on Brandon and saying what she said. And he's on Confront Street as well, telling her you need, be out of everybody's business and stay on your own relationship. That's what you need to be paying attention to. And now Irvin walks into the door after she left. He's getting on Irvin, telling him kind of like, check your girl, basically. He's like, okay, I got you. It's my job. I'm going to talk to her. So at first, I feel like he was a little bit trying to protect her on the offense a bit, but respectfully, he's like, this is my job. I'm going to put her in her place. Not like that, but kind of like that. She bossy, so he going to try to get her in her place. She going back and forth. He was like, you should stay in your own business. She's like, I was just chilling and staying in my own business. He's like, no, but you kind of wasn't. She's like, you're right, I really wasn't. But why do you have to reprimand me? And he's like, well, I can't fight all your battles. I'm trying to protect you here, but you doing too much. Then she starts speaking in tongues, praying, saying, you stressing me out, sir. And she calling the Holy Spirit down, calling him a flaming hot Cheeto right now because he upset. His hair do kind of look like some flaming hot Cheetos. Also, I just want to bring to attention Irvin and Brandon's extensions. Who do they extensions? And do Brandon really have extensions, or is that his real hair? I don't know, but Irvin's extensions is kind of a lot. He got the man ball on the top of his head. He can compete for some hair time with a girl, I'm just saying. But while I'm a person of faith, and I respect Alicia's praying in tongues, calling down the Holy Spirit. She needs to ask the Holy Spirit to do a work in her, because it ain't about everybody else all the time, Miss Alicia. And Taronda, the host, brings Dr. Allie up to talk with Kiki and Brandon. They do need it. Brandon expresses that he does have alcohol trauma because his dad was a drunk, and his stepdad was a drunk. I don't think it was his dad, his biological dad, but his stepdad was a drunk. It caused a divorce between his parents and with his mom. Kiki feels like she's being controlled and judged, and she lets the doctor know she does it for a good time. She's a social drinker. So the doctor does something smart and says, okay, well, tell me how many drinks you think is a normal amount of drinks. What's the limit, right? Brandon's like a 3-drink limit for me. And depending on the night, Kiki's like, I could do 3 drinks and 3 shots, but it'll be over the whole night, not all at once. So the doctor's like, I have to point out this information, but when it comes to statistics and all of that, when it comes to binge drinking, 4 drinks is the limit. If you drink 4 drinks, you're considered binge drinking. So that kind of pulls the rug under Kiki's little argument about her not drinking too much and controlling her alcohol consumption. But Dr. Allie tries to get to the bottom of the situation. She said, well, when did you start really drinking like this? She's like, the last year or so. I lost my mom. She was my best friend. And, the doctor sympathized with her and said, I lost my father. I'm still not over it. And that was back in 2020. So alcohol is taking the place of something for Kiki, is basically what the doctor points out. But also, Brandon can't be too controlling over the situation because of what he went through in his past. He may be a little bit too aggressive when it comes to trying to make sure she's not over substancing herself. So she points out basically they both were at fault in different areas and they can work on this. And she said maybe he can help you relax instead of the liquor. So at this point, she dismisses Brandon and continues to talk with Kiki because I think she needs more and has more to say. And I think that was a good thing that she did. But also some things are revealed and comes out about Kiki. He gives her a rose before he leaves, which is a sweet thing. And the doctor's like, is something else going on? She's like, well, I've been feeling lonely. It's feeling like my ex. And my ex, he was kind of fake. He was a fake fiance cheater. They was together for 8 years. He was getting women pregnant. It was pregnancy scares here and there. And she's just now kind of getting over everything within the last 4 months. Like, but you've been talking to Brandon for 4 years. So he's had the assumption you guys were in a relationship for the last 4 years. Are you going to tell him that it's only been 4 months since you've gotten over your last relationship? There's been a huge overlap there. I mean, to be honest with you, I think she should tell him, but when you're in an online relationship, I don't know if you can say that person, you can't trust that they're 100% faithful, especially for 4 years. Now, I could see a year and we meet up, but if it's been 4 years, I know somebody that did something on the side, somebody been talking to somebody, something, because 4 years is a long time to be exclusive with somebody just online if you never seen them face to face. So if she tells him, I think that he could be understanding on some level, but the timeline is pretty close. It's only been 4 months since she got over her ex. She was still living with him at the time. She was talking to Brandon. Yeah, so there's some secrets that she has that needs to be told. And she's a little bit messy. She's like putting everything on Brandon that he's being too much. And then she doesn't want to tell him about what she's been doing in her recent past, still with her ex for a long period of time during their relationship. It's like, Kiki, you really don't need to be on this show. You got some work to do at home. All right, it's date night. They all go to Top Golf. It looks fun. You know, tonight, Brandon's going to let his guard down a bit. He's like, I'm going to do some shots. We're going to be drinking. And I'm going to let Kiki know we're going to drink it up. I don't think he's going to be binge drinking, but I guess he's letting his guard down some. He even asked her, do she want to drink? They seem like they're trying to communicate a little bit better. Come on, Brandon, don't let her get you drunk too. Cinco and Jay seem to be doing the best. They're kind of sticking to each other, and they're not in everybody's business like that. And Cinco did have some good advice earlier for the guys. So hopefully these two, they can keep it moving in this direction. For some reason, Alicia's sitting next to Irvin dancing. And she's like, well, why I can't dance? He's like, well, I didn't say anything about you dancing. So she made a big deal about him looking at her because she was dancing, and then other people around the table saying, no, he didn't say anything. Man, she's always paranoid and always up for an argument, but we'll see what she says about this later. She says, you know, that he thinks she's weird. I don't know if he even said that, but she's putting that on herself, honestly. But when she said what she said and accused him, it made the whole vibe and the whole area and the whole atmosphere weird. So she put that weird out there. Brittany's like, you know, Ty's not really paying attention to me. He was really attentive online. His focus is elsewhere. To me, he looked like he was hanging with the guys, just shooting the breeze. And he wasn't even sitting next to her. So she's like, you know, what am I here for? Are you supposed to be paying attention to your girl? This is what this whole situation is about. And I could see where she was coming from because he really wasn't stunting her. I didn't see them get into an argument or anything. So I don't know why he was like acting like she wasn't even there. Clay and Tatiana, or Clavassier and Tatiana, they fight about this fake vegan stuff again while they're at the Top Golf. And him being a fake vegan, don't think they really got into it before. She was talking to one of the other girls about it, but now they're like deep talking about it. And Cinco's telling him, look, just apologize. That's all you gotta do. You know, Clay's not really hearing that. And Tatiana's saying, you petty lying because you didn't have to lie about this, but you did. And he's just upset by her reaction. Never really apologizes. So they're on their way back. Irvin is snoring it up. And when they get home, we see Kiki snoring it up. So we see a couple of our people here snoring. Was it the alcohol? Jared and Charlie head to the boom boom room. We see condoms and candles sitting on the table. And Charlie is quick to kick them out. She's ready to go. This is exactly what Jared wants. You know the type of woman you got, especially when she just told you she got 2 extra kids you didn't know about. Or was it 3? So there's also another black and white camera in the room, so they felt a little bit nervous about that. They said to cuddle, but the lights went out, so I don't know if they did more than cuddling. But there's always camera sound. But in this episode, as far as we know, they just cuddle, but there's a lot you can do under the covers that people cannot see. I'm just saying. The next day, they did let everybody know that they did enjoy themselves, but to what extent, I guess we'll find out later. Alicia's upset about what went on that night, the way Irvin was with her. There's some people just can't be happy. They're comfortable with chaos. And Allison is like, call the preacher on these men. What is wrong with these men? Her man probably isn't as bad as these other men, but she has a point. But when it comes to being comfortable with chaos, that's Alicia all day. She always looking for something or feeling like somebody looking for something on her. So she's talking about herself. Clay going super vegan for breakfast. He making these vegan eggs. He really trying to prove something. And then he decides to finally apologize to his girl. She kisses and forgives him. She just wants him to be honest. Oh, but yeah, he got a daughter and he ain't tell you that part yet. But the feeling you've been feeling, the fishy feeling you've been feeling right, my sis. So they're all outside by the pool chilling. This is the next day, but Brittany's upset about Ty again. She's saying he's not doing anything for her. He said he would cook and cater to her, but he's out there trying to impress others and not her. She's not the priority. So when he goes back in the house, he's manning the grill, so he is cooking, but he's cooking for everyone. I guess she just wants special treatment. Whatever the case, he is cooking, but everyone's getting some of the food, right? She's like, well, when you come back out, can you give me a drink? He's like, well, let me get this macaroni and salad out here first, this pasta salad, and I will get you your drink. So she's upset by that. So he comes out. I guess he knows that she's upset. He starts yelling about how I'm gonna try to do everything once y'all got me doing everything, the grill, the pasta salad, then you want me to get a drink. I was gonna bring the pasta salad, then make your drink. What's the problem? And then she's yelling about basically, you're not doing nothing for me, you're not who you said you were, and you trying to do stuff for everybody else, not trying to do nothing for me. I asked you to cook me breakfast, lunch, you're not trying to do none of that. So again, this is like a food theme episode to me, like food, the vegan situation. In the beginning, Jared stealing Pop, and now she mad because he cooking for everybody, but he's supposed to cook just for her because she his girl. So it's all about food in the Boom Boom Room in this episode of The Never Ever Mets. I think it was a decent episode. We're going to talk more faith, love, and trends right here on CBiz Media. What are your thoughts? Email me at cbiztv@yahoo.com. And you can always drop anything in the comments. Just always show love and respect. But I really want to know what you really thinking when it comes to these shows. So thank you for hanging out with me, chatting it up with me right here on CBiz Media. We'll talk again next time. All the best. And God bless.